Welcome, Neil Isaacs, the Raleigh business broker, answering another question from another owner. I am an intermediary. This is Ask an Intermediary. Today's question that I'm answering is from Hannah. Hannah's asking me, how long does it take to sell a business? And this is a question that I get all the time. This is one of our frequently asked questions. We answer it with research and with our own experience. So I'll give you the short and I'll give you the long version. The quick answer, Hannah, is it takes 6 to 9 months, sometimes faster, sometimes longer, depending on the deal size. Get into that in the longer answer, but 6 to 9 months to sell a business. It's not like selling a house. It takes a lot longer to sell a business. And I'll explain why. But let's go to the research first. I'm going to share a screen here. The research that I use is the IBBA's research. I think you can see my screen here, ibba.org. If you go to their research, I went right to the time to close. This is from the Market Pulse survey, and this looks at time to close over time. You know, it goes up and down depending on what's going on, but in general, smaller deals, this is showing about 6, 7, 8 months. Larger deals, 10, 11 months. This is going back 3 years, so maybe it changes by a month over time. But this is the research from the marketplace. This is Q2 2022 with the IBBA. So there's the research. That's a great resource. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Just looking at time to sell a business in that one. But look at that survey for other things like multiples and deal structures, and we'll get to that in another video. But why? Why, Hannah? Why does it take so long to close a business? People say, hey, I sold my house in a month. Why can't I do a business in a month? Well, the reason is, if you're doing a direct deal, you and your buyer need to come to terms, and that takes a little bit of time. You need to find your buyer, you need to come to terms. When we represent owners of businesses, we will take the time to go to market correctly. When an owner comes in, we want to learn the business, and when we go to market, we want to have all the answers that business buyers are going to ask us, and that takes time. We want to learn those answers ourselves, and then we want to create the presentations, the confidential presentations, so that when we release that and we have 50 or 100 people raise their hand and say, tell me about this business, that we don't have to call the owner for every single question that we get. We know 90+% of the answers that the buyers are going to ask. So we take 2 weeks or so just to go to market. Sometimes a month would take the time that it needs. The smaller deals are more simple, but a complicated business takes time to learn the business. So we go to market, and then we start to field buyer inquiries. By the way, the quickest we've gotten something under contract is a couple of weeks. We've listed it, found the buyer, got under contract, a week, 2 weeks. We can get a deal. We can find the buyer, but then we have to legally close the business. We bring in the attorneys, and an APA gets written, and things tend to slow down a little bit. Buyers like to do due diligence. This is something that takes time in a deal. Usually buyers will ask for a month, and we'll say, hey, how about 2 weeks? But buyers need a chance. After they said, okay, I'll buy your business, they need a chance to kick the tires a little bit. That's how deals are done. So that takes a little bit of time. And then what I call the stakeholders in the deal, the other parties include often the landlord. You can add a month for a landlord. Landlords take time. And the business attorney I mentioned, you need to do it legally. They write an APA or an SPA. These are the definitive documents. Your buyer may have a deal, but to make it official, as it were, you need a stock purchase agreement or an asset purchase agreement. And that needs to be done properly. We have templated agreements, but we're not lawyers, so we let the lawyers do their work, and the buyer and seller have to agree on that. So that takes time. I mentioned the lease assignment. When you have a landlord involved, if there's space involved in a business, which often there is, the landlord's got to have their own lease documents, and that's got to go. The lawyers are involved there too. So everybody needs time to review documents to get it done correctly. And then the last thing that makes deals take time, and this is the difference between a deal that takes 6 months and 9 months, is financing. The SBA is the go-to vehicle for financing small business, and SBA loans, in general, when you ask them how long it takes, they'll say 30 to 45 days. And that's if everything works out great. 45 days to 60 days is a safer bet. Some can do it faster. And if there's any issues, it's going to take longer. There's a lot of things that come with SBA. The buyers are normally required to get life insurance. If you've ever applied for life insurance, that takes time. Everything takes time, and everything is kind of contingent upon everything else. And you're doing multiple deals. If you're doing if as a buyer, you're doing a deal with the seller, doing a deal with the landlord, you're doing a deal with the bank. You may have other deals that you're lining up, and they all have to come together at the same time. And if one of those things isn't ready, often it pushes. It's whoever finishes last with all these deals is kind of when the deal tends to come to fruition. Now, I'm an intermediary, and it's my role when I'm serving owners to kind of keep all this stuff on track and to say, oh, we're stuck here. Let's push this boulder up this hill so that everything comes together. That's why deals take so long. Now, the more you do the deals, the more you know where the problems are going to be, and the more you can kind of be proactive and get in front of them. But Hannah, you asked how long it takes to do a business deal. 6 to 9 months is realistic. What that means is, I'm filming this in February. Owners who are going to market in Q1 will likely sell this year, and people that are deciding to go to market mid-year, late in the year, they probably won't sell this year. They could be lucky and everything could work out, but you got to plan ahead with these. And there's timing with selling a business for tax purposes. That's a whole nother thing. I'll save that for another video. But for now, that's how long it takes to sell a business, and that's why it takes so long to sell a business. If you have more questions, ask me, Neil Isaacs, the Raleigh business broker, and I'd love to answer your questions. If you have a specific question about your deal, direct message me because of the confidentiality nature. But otherwise, like, subscribe, share, do all of those things, and I look forward to doing this again soon. Thanks for watching. Until next time.